Right, Wednesday night, 8:15 at Old Trafford. It's the game that we've all been waiting for. It is the game that will finally prove what I have been saying time in, time out this season, and that is that Chelsea are better than Man United. It's a small win, but I've got to take them where I can get them. And Man United aren't on good form at the minute. They were the form team in the Premier League table, but sometimes the statistics do lie when I am not using them to suit my argument. And I would say that Man United aren't really that good this season. Chelsea are hit and miss, but on our day, we're better than them on their day, and that's why I believe we're going to win. But that being said, we are going to preview this game, and we're going to give our starting 11 picks for the team we want to see line up at Old Trafford. Here to help me do so is my friend and channel fan favourite, Josh Aveste. Josh, buzzing for this one?
I am absolutely buzzing. Do you know what, though? I'm nervous as well, because if we don't win this game, the amount of pelters that you and I are going to get about saying that Man United are shit...
It's going to be stick central, mate.
It's going to be bad.
We are going to get a lot of it.
I'm titling this the Battle of the Dysfunctional Teams. This is a team that we're seeing with Man United. They're at the end of their cycle. You know, they're going to potentially get taken over. Ten Hag's going to be out. They're going to have to sign a load of new players. They're going to have to go through a transition just like we're going to go. So maybe they're 2 years behind us.
Do you know what KG's calling this?
There you go.
El Modico.
El Modico. And he's totally right with that. He's totally right there. And with us...
No, it's not, though. Like, it actually isn't. Like, we are just massively inconsistent. But I'm telling you now, we're such a better team than Man United.
We are. And I think we're right to say that. But also, if they end up winning against us and they still have the form that they've got, like you're saying their form hasn't been good. They're the form team in the Premier League. They were before this loss. You know, so they're right up there in the form table.
But the eye test.
Yeah.
The eye test.
I know the eye test is different.
Shocking. Yeah. And as well, when you go Premier League, what you don't take into account, of course, we're talking about the Premier League, but they have got Champions League matches sprinkled in there. They've conceded 14 goals in the group stages of the Champions League. Yeah. Jose Mourinho's Chelsea side conceded 14 goals in a 38-game season. They've done 5-6 games in the Champions League. 5 games, I think it is, and conceded 14 goals. These boys are there to be got at, and we need to be doing it.
Yeah, they're about to go into... You remember we were talking about our runs, and we've just had a difficult run going into an easy run. They've just had the easy run, and they're going into the hard run. So if they don't end up, getting a few points against us and then going into the difficult run they've got coming up, they're going to be in real, real trouble. And do you know what? The pressure is going to be on Ten Hag more than ever. And I tell you what... The pressure is already on Ten Hag. They don't have any wingers. They don't have any strikers that want to put the ball in the back of the net. Højlund has been a complete flop in the Premier League, and I don't care if anyone disagrees with me on that, because I think that's totally true. Has he even scored a goal in the Premier League, Joey?
He hasn't. Hold on, let me check. No, he hasn't. No.
Jackson is a flop, but Højlund is actually a good player.
Jackson's a flop, man. He's only got like 6-7 Premier League goals, but I mean, Højlund's tearing his heart.
Yeah. Do we live in opposite land, mate? Because I feel that this is a bit mental.
Well, the signs were coming with Højlund, because we all know he didn't have a fantastic goal record at Atlanta. But here's the key thing. Do you remember the Everton striker? Was his name Lookman?
Yeah.
Was it Lookman?
Yeah, Lookman, yeah.
That was his strike partner at Atlanta. He outscored him. I think 2 seasons running. And let's be honest, he weren't pulling up no trees at Everton.
No, he wasn't pulling up trees at any club he's been to.
We're going to say all of this. Højlund's going to bag a brace against us, I was saying.
Jinxed it, classic.
No, it's all right. Look, best memory from this fixture.
For me, it's the 5-0. I had a VHS tape, and do you know what? I think I might have worn that tape down because I watched it so many times. That was at Old Trafford, I think.
No, it was at the Bridge.
Was that at the Bridge?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What
Poyet.
Oh.
Yeah.
We've had so
Jody
many
Morris
good games against them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Legend Jody.
Yeah. That's got to be the memory, really.
Is that the one for you?
Yeah, that's got to be the one. I'll tell you what, though, if we're talking about these Man United games, my man, the man I love, Eidur Johnson, sort of lofting it over the goalkeeper and scoring on the opening day of the season, 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge, and that game was the first game of the Jose Mourinho era. They don't come much harder than Man United on the opening game, so that's got to be a memory. I'll tell you what, I think it was that same season. Do you remember Thiago smashed one in at Old Trafford? Absolute screamer at Old Trafford, and Mourinho just went on the touchline. So, but I'll tell you what, it hasn't been a happy hunting ground for us of recent. It's been a while since we got a win at Old Trafford, man. And we've had games like at Old Trafford. I remember, do you remember the game when we got beat, was it 4-0 under Lampard?
Yes.
And actually, the crazy thing about that, and people just think I'm talking shit here, and most of the time I am, but on this occasion I'm not, we were the better team in that game. and we ended up getting beat 4-0. Even like last season, you know, if Mudryk converts that chance put through to him when we go through on goal, it's a different game. But we just come up short last season as well. A draw and a loss just wasn't really to be for us last season. But I do think that we've somewhat have turned a corner. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think we have. I think we've got the best chance to beat them at Old Trafford we've had in a very, very long time. So if we don't go into this game confident, then I don't know how you can go into any game confident against a sort of a traditional top 6, top 7 side. I don't know how you can't, because they are gettable. And do you know what, mate? We need to go at them from the very first minute, and we need to be aggressive. And that's why I've made certain team selections. I'm really excited to see whether you agree with them, where we should just be going as attacking as possible, and we should really be putting them under pressure. Because if we are, mate, they're just going to buckle. They've got the worst sort of general attitude in a squad, I think, in the Premier League. Yeah. They've got players that obviously don't want to be there. They've got players that actually don't give a fuck. They've got a real disciplinary issue.
And I tell you what's not the worst thing, when the players that don't want to be there aren't players that the manager sees as indispensable to the squad. Because then it's like, fine, you don't want to put a shift in, get off the pitch. You're Hakim Ziyech and you don't want to be at Chelsea, go, we don't care. If you're Marcus Rashford, if you're the leader of your club, more or less, I know Bruno's got the armband, but you're the guy they're looking to win matches for you, and you don't want to be there, it ain't going to bode well for you, mate. And I think you're definitely right. There's way worse of a feeling around Old Trafford than there is around Stamford Bridge at the moment. And I think we'll be going into this as the team with a better feeling and with a better atmosphere in the squad, despite the fact we're below them in the league. So all that being said, let's have your team for this match.
Petrovic obviously starts.
Of course. Of course.
Nah, Sanchez.
I'll bring Ed De Hoy back.
Yeah, I would love to see Ed De Hoy. What a legend he was. What a player.
Man,
I loved him.
Tell you what I liked about Ed De Hoy.
Go on.
Lovely tash.
Lovely tash.
Lovely tash. Man after my own heart.
He's manicured that tash ready for today for you guys. Just remember that. Just enjoy that tash. He's really put a lot of effort into it. Carlo Cudicini, I could bring back. You know, a lot of those players.
Unreal. Lenny Pidgley.
I remember him lifting the trophy and just going, mate. When did we see you? You were the third choice keeper.
That goalkeeper kit. Remember the white with the black on it, the check ad. Oh,
classic.
Unreal.
Classic kit. Sanchez in goal. Yep. I think long term he won't necessarily be our number one, but I think he'll be the number one for at least this season, so I will play him in this game happily. Right back, bringing Reece James back, straight back in the team. Do you agree?
Yeah, you got to do. Reece James has got to come back in, and I'll be interested to see who misses out there in your, because it will obviously be a centre back that misses out. At the expense of Reece James. Not sure Melagusto's fit or not, and actually I thought that, as I say, played out of position a little bit. I thought Axel Disasi did quite well at right back in that game. Maybe he will be in your back line, but there's absolutely no doubt that Reece James should be coming straight back into this match. There's absolutely no doubt for me he'll be fit and available and able to play in this match, and there's absolutely no doubt that Reece James will have a point to prove. And a Reece James of a point to prove is a scary Reece James.
Definitely. I'm really excited to see him back, and I think he'll tear it up against Man United. So let's talk about my centre-back pairing. So the first player, and I want you to guess who I'm talking about here, is a player that I've thought over and over again about whether I should drop. It's a player that has, you know, a very good record in the back for us. I think he's one of those ones where you go, is he indispensable to the team? You know who I'm talking about. It's Thiago Silva. But for me, we have to keep playing him. So for me, he's the first one on the team sheet almost now. He has to carry on playing in the centre-back position.
I would have more jeopardy around that position.
Me too.
If we were going into a game with Bournemouth than Man United, because we know Thiago Silva will turn up in them big games. And you can point to the Newcastle game, but I could then show you 10 of the bigger matches that he does turn up in. And I think against Man United, he'll be important for us.
Yeah, look, and maybe I'm being a bit horrible here about Man United, but I'm not particularly concerned about their attack. And maybe that one will come back to bite me in the bum, but I'm not particularly concerned about them. And I think that Thiago Silva will absolutely sort of shepherd them and be very comfortable. Very comfortable. So, look, I did seriously consider putting Axel Disasi in that position and pairing him with my other choice as centre-back, which would be Badiashile. So, for me, Disasi is the one that drops out. King Benoit gets the assist. He's acrobatic. Maybe he scores another goal in this game and continues his goal-scoring form. Maybe he'll end up at the end of the season scoring more goals than Nicholas Jackson. We'll wait and see.
He is acrobatic, isn't he?
He is acrobatic.
I bet he's flexible. Do you reckon he does hot yoga or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Probably some gymnastics, mate.
Yeah.
Probably some gymnastics. Probably on that bar. He's probably doing a few tumble turns. You love it, you know.
You do love it, yeah.
I have to say though, like I think it's so harsh on Disasi, and I really like Disasi. And this was one of those ones today when I've been thinking about who should be in and out of that squad. I've been thinking, do you know what? Disasi deserves to be in there, and he's just missed out.
We did flop or cop yesterday with Brian on the kickoff. And I love Brian, but he fucks me right over with that flop or cop because he tells me I can only go flop or cop.
It's
and
true,
for the
though.
price tag of Disasi being that I don't think at the moment, as I do rate Disasi, but I don't think he's either of our starting choices at centre back. And I actually put him fourth because I put him below Thiago Silva, below Levi Colwill, and below Benoit Badiashile. That's no massive disservice. It's not the Man United team and you're putting someone below Lindelof. They're 3 top quality centre-backs. But because I put him at the bottom of that pile, I had to then say at 45 million, 40 million that he was a flop on that. And I don't mean he is a flop at all. Like, I really like Axel Disasi. And I think that it'll be important for us going forward. But there's no middle ground. So if you've ever watched that on the kickoff and then you come over here, just so you know, I was peer pressured. I was forced against my will.
Is he below Fofana for you?
I don't even know who Fofana is at the moment.
You actually forgot Fofana was in the squad, didn't you?
Can you blame me? No,
So harsh.
listen, if we're going to be shouting anyone out who's lingering around the injury room, we're shouting out my man, Trevor Chalobah, because I love Trev. But
Is he injured?
do you not think he
Conspiracy theory.
Really?
Conspiracy theory that they wanted to offload him. He didn't go for the sale, so they're just not putting him in the squad.
Yeah.
We've seen it before where we've had players with a mysterious lower back injury that had never had a lower back injury before. and
He's
suddenly
definitely
are
at
out.
Area 51.
Yeah, he's hidden. I love these conspiracy theories. Let's believe it. I do think there's something dodgy going on there, mate.
Put your best football conspiracy theory in the comments section. I will pin it. Let's go on to your left back.
So we've got 3 choices, haven't we? One of them is injured with Chilwell. Cucurella is coming back, isn't he? He'll be in the squad, won't he? Seems like he will be for this game. But I would go Levi Colwill in this position. I think we look much more solid when we have 3 centre-backs in the back 4, whether that's with Chilwell on the left and then maybe a centre-back at right-back potentially, or, you know, Colwill going in at left-back. I think he was immense. And I actually think going forward, he actually does give something.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously not as good as them.
I think that when you play Reece James, the sensible thing to do at the minute is play Levi Colwill.
Definitely.
Not because I think that Cucurella is a left back that's going to be bombing on and we're going to be left exposed at the back. But I just think that when Reece James does go on, which inevitably he will, and I hope he will, in this match, I think if the defence then drops into a 3, I'm more confident with Thiago Silva, Benoit Badiashile and Levi Colwill than I am Thiago Silva, Benoit Badiashile and Marc Cucurella. That being said, I rate Cucurella, but yeah, I'd agree with you. Levi Colwill is a good option there. The sort of piercing question here is who is going to make up that midfield for you? Because we know we're without Conor Gallagher for this game. I think to pick himself, but you run me through who you'd have in the midfield.
So the 2 pivots are going to be Ugochukwu. No, I'm joking. It won't be Ugochukwu. It will be Enzo and Caicedo. Quality players. They are the best pivot that we have at the club, even when Lavia is fit. So play those boys. So I'm going to leave them as the midfield 2. I presume you're going to start them. So easy as that. So my number 10 in this game is an easy one, actually. It's actually a position that I wanted to see him for quite a long time. Cole Palmer slots straight in.
I think that's his best position, don't you?
I agree. He's much more of a central player. He doesn't have that like sort of electric pace that we need from the wing positions. And we've been playing him there and he's been doing incredibly well.
And he don't beat a man with his dribbling.
But
Like he takes men out the gap. Right, okay, that's a little bit harsh to say doesn't beat a man with his dribble. He can work his way out of tight spaces, lovely. But his best attribute is threading those balls through, finding space in areas that didn't allow him to find space, and making something out of nothing in those positions. So I think the sort of central attacking midfield role is perfect for him.
Yeah, he's a very good presser as well. Do you remember in that game, what game was it where we played with Conor Gallagher and he was the false 9? Do you remember what game that was? Was that the Arsenal match?
Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah. So Cole Palmer was there and he was pressing alongside Conor Gallagher in the central positions and he was doing it very, very intelligently. And do you know what? Poch really rates that pressing. He really needs that in his formation. And that's why Cole Palmer will be excellent as a number 10. And you think now, before the season, we were going, oh, I'm not sure whether that number 10 position is that strong anymore. But you look at it, you got Nkunku, Chukwuemeka's coming back, you've got Cole Palmer, and you've got Gallagher that are all fighting basically for that position.
I can't wait for Carney Chukwuemeka to come back.
I know. He's not going to get in the team, mate.
Do you not reckon?
No, he's not going to get anywhere near the team. You think the only position that he can play for us is the number 10 position, and he has Nkunku.
I have seen him play deeper though.
He won't play deeper.
He used to play deeper for the England under-21s or the under-18s or whatever it was.
Very different.
And do you remember the match? I was at the game last season against Man City when he hit the post.
Yeah,
that he was playing quite deep in that game.
Yeah, I think he's a number 10 / a more advanced player.
I really hope he doesn't go out on loan. I'd understand like why he might need to get game time if he's not playing, but I think he's like ready. And when I say ready, ready to win Premier League? No, but I don't think any of this team are. No. If you're comparing him to the players that are starting week in, week out for us, I think Carney Chukwuemeka's ready. I really rate him, man. Really, really rate him.
I rate him too. And look, I'm not doing a disservice on it. I'm not saying he's a shit player. What I'm saying is he's got basically world-class quality above him. You know, you've got Nkunku coming in who, let's be honest, does want to play in that position. He might end up playing out wide, but he wants to be a number 10 as well. And basically, that is his best position. And basically, our player of the season, mate, you're talking about dropping our player of the season, arguably, Conor Gallagher, to fit Chukwuemeka in. So I think it's so harsh. I think, going back to Cole Palmer, I think I'm really excited to see him in the number 10. And the reason why I like to see him in the number 10 is because you've got wingers that will overlap. And when Enzo does that inevitable pass over the top and through the lines, you'll have a pacey winger that can go there. So Cole Palmer, thank you so much for filling in on the wings, but I want to see you in a more central role.
You just mentioned that pacey winger. Who is on your wing?
So, I would love to see Noni play. I would love to see it. He's been benched for far too long, but I don't think he will. And actually, me thinking about it now, I don't think I would play him in this game.
I don't know if this is the match to bring him back in. Like, I think maybe we've got matches beforehand, but I think maybe definitely we see him against Newcastle in the cup. And then if he can, stake a claim. He played very good against AFC Wimbledon, a match you were at in the cup. But, if maybe he can stake a claim there, integrate him back in, I think it's a bit too big an occasion maybe to just bring him straight back in this game.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I am gutted to say this, and maybe this is a little bit too early to make this prediction, but I think in the summer, Noni will end up going out on loan. I think next season, Noni won't be playing for Chelsea. Because I think Angelo comes back in and then you've got a problem with wingers, and then arguably we might make another signing. And Angelo's, I really rate Angelo. I really like him.
Chelsea's motto, to be fair, is if in doubt, sign another winger.
Yeah, if in doubt, loan. I think is also another
Chelsea
motto.
If in doubt, loan them out.
Yeah, exactly. So talking about the two players that I want to see on the pitch for this, I would play Raheem Sterling on the right. Give him his credit. We know he has been very good. And as you say, always turns up for the big games. I'm expecting big things from him. If he doesn't produce big things in this game, I'm going to get on his back, especially if he doesn't track back. If I don't see Raheem Sterling getting back and helping his wing back, I'm going to be furious in this game.
Is he going against Pochettino's instructions in not tracking back? Because do you think there's any part of Pochettino that says to him, mate, like, I just want you up there, to be honest, because we do know, because the player has said it himself. Sterling said that Poch got an arm around him at the start of the season and said, I want you to go back to the Sterling of old somewhat, and I want you to be taking on men, and I want you to be really playing with that sort of flair that we saw in your earlier days and at Manchester City. Is there any part of us that is neglecting a possibility that maybe at the same time as saying that, Pochettino said, look, I ain't counting on you for your defensive work. Stay up there, because when the ball breaks, and we do inevitably break forward, I think you're the man to be in that position. If you're helping out defensively, brilliant, but you ain't going to be there to run with the ball when it gets there. Is there any chance we're neglecting that possibility?
I think that's 100% true. I think that's right. Pochettino's definitely got in his ear and said to him, get very high up the pitch and make the attacking movements you want to do. And also, like, conserve a bit of energy. He's getting older, and you want that sort of like that buzz that he gets where he breaks and does sort of do those passes, as he did to win that penalty. He was the one that broke first, passed it to Jackson, and then on to Mudryk against Brighton. So yes, but also then I look at the average positions, and consistently he is the highest player, the furthest forward player, above even our centre forwards. And I think he needs to be 5 yards further back in the average positions, which means overall in the course of the game, he needs to be helping out his wing back. So I'm not saying I want him to be an ancillary wing back, but I'm certainly saying he needs to come back and help a little bit more than he does. And I certainly think that he shouldn't be in transitional moments walking back, which I see far too often. So yes, I think that Poch has made some tweaks and said, I want you very attacking, but not at the detriment of some of the defensive work.
Do we just need to accept, though, with Raheem Sterling, and listen, I'm not putting this in your mouth, like you could reject this possibility, but do we not just need to accept that with Sterling we are going to get 6s, but then some weeks we're going to get 9s, but we'll probably never get 7 or 8s?
Yeah, I don't love that. I want to know what to expect when I'm playing the wingers. And I do think there are other wingers out there within the squad and potentially out on loan that would give us, consistent good performances. And you look at Nkunku coming back, maybe he takes that Raheem Sterling position, because Nkunku might do everything that Sterling does and still have the consistencies and not drop off. So I do worry for Raheem, because I do think Nkunku comes back and really, really challenges him, especially when you talk about all of the competition that we've got at centre attacking mid. Maybe that's the position that he takes.
Before I ask you who you're starting through the middle, I want to know who you've got on the other side.
Mudryk is the player that I've got on the other side.
Does he get a goal?
I think he gets probably an assist in this game. Maybe not a goal, but my God, is it good to see him back in the starting 11. It's so good to see him playing. And I think he's going to rip Man United apart. I think there are, who's he going to go up against? Probably Wan-Bissaka.
If he's on the left wing and go up against Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah, probably Wan-Bissaka. I doubt that they're going to be playing Delo on that side. It seems like they're going to play Delo on the left-hand side.
I'll tell you what, though. Wan-Bissaka's good.
He's a good player, but he's
a good defender.
He's good defensively, but that's it. But let's see it. This is a battle.
You say, but that's it. But that is what they do at the minute.
I love it.
They come and they park the bus a lot of the time,
but
Man
also,
United. If you want a player to do his job, listen, not going on the modern game and how we play nowadays as football, but just in terms of a player doing his job, Wan-Bissaka's one of the best at it. Yeah. I think he's really, really good, Wan-Bissaka, at defensive work, and I think in the one-on-one, very, very good. So I can't guarantee that Mudryk has him on tender hooks, but I very much hope so.
I think that he would control Sterling a lot more than what he'll control Mudryk. Because the one thing that you can beat an amazing defender with is pace. Because if you push it past them and he can't keep up with you, and Wan-Bissaka's no slouch here. He's not like a
If you had a
player.
choice, though, you'd rather put Mudryk up against Dalot on the other side, wouldn't you?
If I would have a choice, maybe. But also, I'm thinking, who's going to do more damage on that left-hand side, Sterling or Mudryk? And I'd go Mudryk. So for me, I think he will be able to put it past him, and I think he will be able to beat him purely on athleticism.
Let's go with your number 9. Who are you starting through the middle, or are you starting at number 9?
I am. Yeah, David Washington's been really good for the under-21s.
No, you banter, yeah? You banter. He has been good for the under-21s, hasn't he?
He has. I think he's been really, really good. Yeah. It's nice to see him. He looks like he's about 13.
Yeah.
Facially.
Yeah.
And I just think... Yeah. Some moisturise, some don't.
He's had our paper round.
Yeah. But yeah, I think for this one, it's another position that I was going backwards and forwards on. And I think it is a tough one because, look, you've got the record that Jackson has. He has scored goals in the Premier League. Broja comes on yesterday, and I'm interested to see what you thought of Broja. I thought he held the ball up well. He did everything that we want him to do. He was combative. And I'm thinking, who matches up better against the Man United defence? Would pace with Jackson be better, or would Broja's sort of strength be better? And I'm thinking...
Broja's got more pace than Jackson.
Wow. Do you think?
We haven't seen it as much since the injury, but my God, if you're going on pre-injury Broja...
Yeah.
Absolutely blitzes Jackson. And people are saying being really harsh on Nicholas Jackson. I get it. But if I'm going into a match and I go, can Broja be a match winner for us? I go, he could be, And at the moment, I am waiting to be proved wrong. I would love nothing more than to be proved wrong. But if you say to me, is Nicholas Jackson a match winner for us? Sorry, mate. No.
I'm thinking of scenarios, right? And I'm thinking, if Jackson starts the game, it's probably 0-0 at half time. And then maybe it gets to a draw. Maybe it finishes a 1-1, right? If Broja starts, I think it's 2-0 at half time.
Yeah.
And I think we convincingly beat them. So that's the reason, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Broja.
We are hearing Poch is a big admirer of Broja as well. It doesn't really translate into his team selection, but we are hearing it. Let me push you for a score prediction in this match.
2-0 Chelsea.
I am going Chelsea 3, Man United 1. People, I want to know your score predictions. Put them in the comment section below. Also, put your starting lineups in the comment section below. I will be dropping my starting lineup tomorrow for this game, so make sure you're locked in for that. Once again, thank Josh Aveste by subscribing to his channel. He's come out of his way to join us this morning, so please make sure you subscribe to his channel. If you're not already, subscribe to my channel. I'm banging out content nearly every single day for you guys at the minute. I'm working very hard to do so. So please hit the like button on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel. Click the bell so you get a notification every time one of my videos goes live. And I will see you all in the next one.